What's up, what's up, what's up, my mind, your money business folks? Is me yet again with another video about money. And today it's about credit card debt in America. Credit card debt in America has hit $1.17 trillion for a credit card. Well, not for a credit card, but credit card debt as a whole. Do you understand that credit card debt is pretty much money you don't have? So why are people spending money they don't have? Like, I've seen so many people talk about the definition of insanity. It's like doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, expecting a different result. So why continue to charge a credit card when you don't have the money, when you know you don't have the money, but you continue to use it? This thing is more psychological than simply swiping your credit card. It's psychological, people, because you are bombarded daily with commercials, advertisements that's selling you something. Now individuals have control over their social media. Now they are CNBC, CNN, Fox News on their Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, social media, making their life look grand. They're on trips here. They're driving this car. They're living in this house. They're promoting things that's making you feel and think that this is the way you should be living as well. And then you do the same, but you do it with a credit card. And I say you do it with a credit card because Americans are currently $1.17 trillion in debt. So if you are a credit card holder, you're more than likely in debt. Not everybody has a credit card with a zero balance. Most people are swiping. I listen to podcasts all the time about people being $85,000 in credit card debt, over hundreds of thousands of dollars in credit card debt. They're going on vacations they don't need to go on. They're buying furniture that they don't need. They're just paying for things they don't need. Then there are campaigns being ran when it comes to political organizations that talk about the rich and how much money they're making. You're making them rich. So it's interesting. You know, just like we are the problem, we're also the answer. You just don't realize that you are the answer, which is simple. Stop using your credit card. So I found an article that talks more in depthly about credit card debt. You know, and it even references Dave Ramsey's podcast, where he talks about credit card debt. We're digging ourselves in this hole, people, as Americans. Then we complain about the hole that we dug ourselves in, not wanting to take any accountability over what we have done to our lives. Because at the end of the day, you applied for that credit card. You decided to get yourself in more and more debt. Because, again, I compare it to drugs and alcohol. It can become addictive. Even though you know you should not do it, you keep doing it. You can't help yourself. You need this, or your kids need that. You need to, continue this facade of living your best life. So the article says, collectively, Americans now owe a record $1.17 trillion of their credit cards, according to a new report on household debt from, I'm not the expert, but the experts are reporting this, from the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. And these banks are the ones that are getting you to apply for these credit cards. And do you know, that's why prices are going up? Because stores have to charge you sometimes extra. You can do your own research, because credit card companies charge a fee whenever you swipe your credit card. I remember going to a restaurant and they said, we don't accept MasterCard. And I was like, oh wow, they don't, because MasterCard, these credit card companies charge companies a fee for using them. So it said credit card balances rose by $24 billion in the third quarter of 2024 and are 8.1% higher than a year ago. So that means people are spending money they don't have. That's the problem. You're spending money you don't have. Why are you doing that? We live in the richest country in the world. Why are people doing this? We're unhealthy as a people. What's the problem? Okay, despite the increase, credit card delinquency rates improved, with 8.8% of balances transitioning to delinquent over the last year, compared to 9.1% in the previous quarter, the New York Fed found. That change could suggest that rising debt burdens remain manageable, the New York Fed researchers said in a press conference call on Wednesday. Overall balance sheets look pretty good for households, the researchers added. How can all that debt look good? It's debt. Credit card debt has remained stable over the last 2 decades. However, in the years since the pandemic, households largely spend their excess savings, which sparked a rebound in credit card balances. What are you spending your money on, people? You need shelter, you need transportation, you need food. What are you spending your money on? I know what, when I log onto social media, I see everyone on vacation. Everyone's taking cruises, like every 3 months, every 6 months. Everyone's, oh, I'm in a new country for the first time. Okay, that's great. It looks good in the pictures. But most people are using debt to do these things. Why are you digging yourself in debt just for an experience? Why not create a solid foundation, invest your money? You're not going anywhere. At least not right now. Not everybody. Not everyone today. Today is the last day for a lot of people, but not everyone. So you don't have to do all of this like right now. Especially go into debt just to have an experience. To me, that is crazy. And people justify it all the time. You only live once. They're saying that at like the age of 20. And then that same person, now they're 50. And they're out there marching because the rich are too rich. You made them rich. You made them richer. The more you keep swiping your credit card on Amazon, on Expedia, at these rental car places, leasing vehicles, rent that you really can't afford, these designer clothes, the more debt you will continue to be in. And the more money you're making these people that other people are telling you you should not like because they're evil, because they have money, but you're giving them the money. Yeah. So it says consumer spending continues to remain strong despite high borrowing costs. It's addictive, people. It has to be addictive, because no one in their right mind will continue to use their credit card and go in debt if they knew better. If they could control themselves. It's addictive. It's addictive spending something you don't have. And then if you just continue to pay the minimum balance and you continue to use that card, and then when you max out that card, you can use the other card. And then when you're young, like I've said in so many other videos, when you're young, you think that, okay, I can wait. I can brush it off. But then you don't realize how brushing it off, it just continues to build. And then the interest rate on these credit cards can be anywhere from 10 to 24%. So the balance is continuing to grow. And then you have 20-something-year-olds or 30-something-year-olds talking about filing for bankruptcy. Okay, what it says, but down, growth in credit card balances has slowed. A separate quarter credit industry insights reports from TransUnion also found the average balance per consumer stands at $6,329, rising only 4.8% year over year. They're making that sound like it's a good thing, compared with 11.2% increase the year before and 12.4% the year before that, the TransUnion found. That's crazy that per consumer has $6,000 balance, but you have people with six-figure jobs. If you have a six-figure job, that means $100,000 or more. Why can't you pay off a little $6,000 balance? You can't, because you probably have $1,000, car payment, or you traded in a car that had a balance and you traded, and that balance transferred over to the new car. Now that $50,000 car you owe $80,000 on. Then you trade in another car. Then you apply for, you still have your student loans to pay off. Now you have a mortgage and you have two kids. You want to send them to private school. Crazy. So in the last 3 months, and this article was written November 13th, 2024. So just a couple of weeks ago, right? So this is not old information. So it says here, in the last 3 months, 42% of Americans said their total debt hasn't changed, while 28% have seen their debt rise, according to another survey by Achieve, which helps consumers manage debt. If you listen to the Dave Ramsey podcast every day that he comes on, there are a lot of Americans that are complaining about their debt. So this is not good. I don't think Americans realize how much these advertisers, these companies are paying. Well, these credit card companies are paying, for you to apply for their credit cards. The crazy thing is, with all this debt, you would think if we're such like a great, well, it's not that we're such. It's like, how much is enough? Knowing that people cannot really afford to pay off their credit cards, why do you continue to issue them out? Why are you pushing millions and millions of dollars behind the advertising of these credit cards? Like, whenever I go on a flight, whether it be Delta, American, United, they're always trying to get you to apply for their credit cards because you can get free miles and all this good stuff. And you don't realize you have to, like, when you apply for these credit cards, you have to like spend so much money in a certain amount of time in order to get those points. You have to spend let's say $6,000 within 3 months. What the hell are you gonna buy in 3 months? But you're gonna have to spend it if you want those $90,000 points. So you have to get yourself in debt to get those points to go on a trip. And then that 90,000 points, say you want to travel from freaking North Carolina to Bali, your points are gone. You may have to come out of pocket, especially if you're taking someone. So you're going to have to go into more debt. You're going to have to use the credit card to pay for the other person's ticket, or maybe even part of your ticket. Then you're going to have to use it also to pay for your hotel and to pay for your food and all of your... Crazy. Okay, of the latter group, most said the increase was due to ongoing difficulty making ends meet. So why do you keep using it? It's like people are in a trance. They just can't help it. They don't know what else to do. Swipe the card. Others cited general overspending and a loss of a job or reduced wages. Achieve polled 2,000 adults with one or more kinds of consumer debt in October. That's why Dave Ramsey says, get out of debt. Create an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months. So if you lose your job or your wages get cut, you have money set aside that you could use to maintain your lifestyle until you get back on your feet. Because life is going to happen. That's called lifing. However, we're making it harder than it needs to be. So when life does happen, we don't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. We have nothing. But when that campaign starts rolling, saying this person or these people are the problem, you jump on that bandwagon. When you go to church and that preacher is telling you the devil is the problem, you agree to that. But you have yet to look in the mirror. That's the problem. That reflection back at you is the problem. But no one wants to take responsibility over their lives, so they continue to blame others in this current day and age. Okay, across the board, unemployment is low and wages have risen, but so has the expenses. But those macroeconomic conditions aren't felt equally across the population, especially for consumers who live in areas where the impact of inflation is the greatest. Brad Stroh, Achieve's co-founder and co-CEO, said in a statement. Again, you have to live smarter, not harder. If you're not getting the best out of the area that you live in, why continue to dig yourself in a hole just to stay there? Move. Easier said than done, but move. Move. Why stay on the Titanic knowing that there's a slow leak and you have a chance to get off of it safely? Why stay on the sinking ship? Move. Do something. Do it. Do it, do it, do it. I would say this, because I joined the military at such a young age, I got to see the world. And by seeing the world and seeing new things, it changed my perspective on life and my views. That's the reason why I am debt free. That is the reason why I have what I have. That is the reason why I manage a budget monthly. That's the reason why I'm able to invest weekly, twice a month, or monthly, every month. That's the reason why I have rental income, because of my perspective and the different things I've seen. And because I just needed to change. I just needed to change. And others think that I'm strange. Even people in my family think that I am strange because of my perspective, right? But again, like I said in another video, I don't have the problems that they have, especially when it comes to money. All right, it says credit card rates still top 20%. Meanwhile, credit cards have become one of the most expensive ways to borrow money. I don't think people are paying attention to that. Just because you are able to use that credit card, they do not realize how expensive it is until they decide, oh, maybe I should pay this off, and they start making payments, or they're noticing that their bare minimum payment is making not one dent in the debt itself. Okay, lower income households who had to stretch to cover price increases have been hit especially hard after the Federal Reserve's string of 11 interest rate hikes lifted the average credit card rate to more than 20%, near an all-time high. Even as the Fed lowers its benchmark, the average credit card rate has barely budged. These people are not your friends. These credit card companies are not your friends. They're making money off of you. You are a slave to your credit card if you have debt on it, because you have to pay it off. Then they're charging you interest. You have no control. None. And I don't like living life without control. I like having control over my situation. And most people don't have control. That's why it's easy to manipulate them and make them think and feel a certain type of way. Like, you need that dress. You need those shoes. You need that car. You need that house. You need those trips. You need to go on that cruise. You need to get your hair done every week. You need to go to that expensive barbershop. You need make you feel like you need the stuff, but really you just want it. It's really a want, people. It's not a need. Okay, so for those with variable rate debt, such as credit cards, it's obviously going to help if rates come down, the New York Fed researchers said. However, the borrowing amount is more important than the interest rate they added. I'm telling you, people, you need to lower your debt to income ratio. There's no reason why we as Americans are having the problems that we're having when we make the type of money that we make. I remember listening to a Dave Ramsey podcast where a couple who was bringing in $14,000 a month, they had about $85,000 in credit card debt. Was it 85 or 127,000? Either way, they had a lot of money in debt. I mean, they had a lot of credit card debt. It was crazy. And the couple was 59 years old and they wanted to retire in 5 years. And on the podcast, they told that's not going to happen. You may need to move your date of retirement to 75 because you need to get out of debt. Because how are you going to go into retirement with that type of debt? You don't have money in savings. So that's what happens when you're living your best life in your 20s and 30s. You become 50, 60 years old and you still don't have anything. You have a good paying job. You live in a nice house. You're driving nice cars, but you have nothing. You look good on the outside, but you're empty in your bank account. You're empty in your retirement. You're giving your kids things that really your kids don't care. Young kids, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, they don't care about those designer clothes or the house that they live in. You're doing that. So who are you doing it for? Are you doing it for other people? We're doing these things because we think of what other people are going to think of us when they see us driving these cars, living in these houses, on these vacations, when those people, they're probably doing the exact same thing you're doing. You're trying to impress these people. I don't get it. I don't get it. But you've been sold a dream, and it's a bad dream. It's actually a nightmare for a lot of people because on that call, the wife started to cry, being the age of 59, going on 60, having all of that debt, 2 kids, and not being able to retire in 5. They wanted to retire in 5 years. And they said, that's not going to happen. And that's not going to happen for a lot of you if you keep doing what you're doing. But the sooner you start working the plan of getting out of debt, the better. Life will become better because you can't keep living in debt. You can't keep living through debt. You want to control your money. And again, we're complaining about rich people, but we're making them rich. We're making everyone rich but ourselves. And you can make yourself rich. You can gain riches by investing in assets that are appreciating over time. Those same rich people that you're giving your money to, they're investing that money that you give them. Or the money's being invested back into their company. And then people like me buy stock in their company that's making them more money. Then they merge with other companies, making more money. So yeah. So the thing is, no one's forcing you to get into debt. We're making those decisions. Like, you are making the decision to go into debt. The problem and answer is you. All right, so that's all I have. Disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a person on the internet posting videos on YouTube. So any information in these videos and on my channel is for entertainment purposes only and expresses my opinions, right? So please consult with a financial advisor when you're in need of help of investing your money, when you're looking to get out of debt. Do your research, but like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Let me know what you think, if you think anything at all. All right, you guys, take care. Peace.